Hello everyone. So in this video, we'll be discussing prominent Bhakti saints and Sufi saints along with the year that they were established and the places that they were associated with and a few philosophies that they propagated. So let's begin. Beginning with the Bhakti saints, the first one being Adi Shankara from the Kerala region in about 8th century AD. He was a chief proponent of the Advaita or non-dualistic school of Vedanta philosophy. Next one is Ramanuja, who belonged to Tamil Nadu region in about 11th to 12th century AD. And he was a major proponent of Vishishtadvaita, sub-school of Vedanta philosophy, which signifies non-dualism. Third one is Madhavacharya. He belonged to the region of Karnataka. And was in about 13th to 14th century AD. He was a chief proponent of Dvaita school of Vedanta philosophy. And he named his philosophy as Tattvavada. Next one is Nimbarka. Nimbarka belonged to the region of Maharashtra. Nimbarka belonged to 13th century AD. His philosophy was Advaita philosophy, which involved duality and non-duality at the same time. He later on migrated to Mathura. Next one is Ramananda, who belonged to the region of Uttar Pradesh and was in about 14th century AD. He was a Vaishnava saint and also the founder of Ramanandi Sampradaya. Next one is Vallabhacharya. Vallabhacharya was a Telugu saint, but he belonged to the northern India majorly. Right? He was also prevalent in the 15th to 16th century AD. Right? He was a founder of the Pushti Marg sect of Vaishnavism also. Next one is Kabir. Kabir was also prevalent in the 15th century AD and was present in Uttar Pradesh region. And he was also the disciple of Ramananda. Majorly, his texts were called as Bijaks also. Next one is Guru Nanak, who was present in the region of Punjab in about 15th to 16th century. He was a he was a proponent of Nirguna school and was also inspired by Kabir. He was also the founder of Sikhism. Next one is Narsingh Mehta, who belonged to the region of Gujarat. In about 15th century AD. He was also famous for his famous bhajan Vaishnava Janato, which was Gandhiji's one of the favorites. Next one is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the region of West Bengal. This was in about 15th to 16th century AD. He was a major proponent of Achintya Bheda Bhed and Gaudiya Vaishnavism. He also popularized Kirtans and ISKCON. The teachings of ISKCONs are also inspirations from him. Next one is Sankar Dev, who was prevalent in the region of Assam. This was in about 15th to 16th century AD. He was a Vaishnava saint scholar and his philosophy was of Ekasarana Dharma, that is for one God. And this God was in the form of Lord Krishna for him. And the major monasteries that were associated with it were called as Satras in the region of Assam. Next one is Surdas. Surdas was prevalent in northern India and he was the disciple of Vallabhacharya as well. His famous compositions involved Sursagar as one of the major proponents. Next one is Mirabai, who belonged to the region of Rajasthan. This was in about 15th to 16th century AD. She was a devotee of Lord Krishna and she composed bhajans. One of the famous one of them is Payo Ji Maine Ram Ratan Dhan Payo. Next one is Dadu Dayal, who belonged to the region of Gujarat. This was during 16th to 17th century AD. 16th to 17th century AD. And his followers were also called as Dadu Panthis. Now a few major ones that we discuss would be involving the region of Maharashtra. That involves Dhyaneshwar. This was in 13th century AD. He was a worshipper of Vithoba and also is related to the Varkari sect. Right? He was also a contemporary to Namdev. Namdev was also significant to Varkari sect of Hinduism and worshipped Lord Vithoba. Namdev was his writings were included in Guru Granth Sahib. But however, Dhyaneshwar and Namdev both were contemporaries, that is to be taken note of. Next one is Eknath. Eknath was also belonging to the region of Maharashtra, but this was during the 16th century AD. He was also influenced by Sufi mysticism and was also a Varkari saint. The next one is Tukaram. Tukaram was a saint, a Vithoba devotee in the 17th century AD in Maharashtra. And he also promoted kirtans, and his devotional poetry were called as abhangas. Next one is Samarth Ramdas. Samarth Ramdas was also belonging to the region of Maharashtra in 17th century AD. He was a devotee of Lord Rama and Hanuman, and his texts were called Das Bodh. Clearly, Ram involves devotee of Ram, and Das would be Das Bodh to remember the text of it. The next one involves Guru Ghasi Das in the region of Chhattisgarh. Guru Ghasi Das. This was in the year 18th century, and he also established the Satnami community and he belonged to Nirguna school of Bhakti movement, right? So these are the major Bhakti movement involvements of various saints. Now moving on to Sufi movements. So the Sufi movements involved Beshara and Bashara kind of Bashara type of Sufis. So the Bashara were one who followed the laws of Islam, which involved Chistis, Surawadis, Firdausi, Qadariya and Naqshbandi, and the Besharas involved the Mast Qalandars, Malangs or Haidris, right? So we are going to majorly discuss about the Bashara type of Sufis, starting with the Chistis. So the Chisti order was founded in India by the Khwaja Moinuddin Chisti, and this was he majorly started this in Herat in Afghanistan, but he established his Khanka in India in Ajmer, right? So this was by Chisti order, Moinuddin Chisti. This was in 12th and 13th century in Ajmer, right? Now this particular Chisti silsila was followed by various other renowned Sufi saints. This order was followed by them, and a few of them were Kutubuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki. This was in Delhi. Baba Farid in Punjab, and Sheikh Nizamuddin Aulia was also one of the proponents of Chisti silsila, right? So the red one involves Chisti silsila. The next order is the Suravadi silsila. So the Suravadi silsila was founded in Baghdad, Iraq by Sheikh Shiabuddin Suravadi, but it was established in India by Sheikh Bahuddin Zakaria, and this was majorly in Multan, It was in integrated India by Zakaria Multan, right? A few more proponents under this were Sheikh Ruknuddin, or other saints were Sayyid Nuruddin Mubarak as well. So this was again in 12th to 13th century AD. Next order involves the Qadariya Silsila. The Qadariya Silsila was propagated by Shah Namatullah, and the concept it supported was Wadat al-Wajud, which is oneness to God. A few major peers involved in the Silsila were Dara Shikoh, Hasrat Mohani, the one who gave Inqilab Zindabad, and Muhammad Iqbal. This was prevalent majorly in Punjab region, right? The Qadariya Silsila. The next one is the Naqshbandi Silsila. The Naqshbandi Silsila was propagated by Khwaja Bahauddin Naqshbandi. And the major popular saints under this were Ahmad Sarhindi, Aurangzeb, and this majorly got popular during the time of Akbar. So the contemporaries could be very clearly mentioned that Ahmad Sarhindi was also during the Akbar period of time. The next one is the Shattari Silsila. This was by Sheikh Sirajuddin Abdullah Shattar. This was prevalent in the region of Malwa, Jaunpur and Bengal. And the major proponents of this was Tan Sen, who was also a legendary musician of Akbar's court. So he followed Shattari Silsila, right? The last but not the least one would be Kubrawiya Silsila, which is also called Firdausi Silsila. This was majorly present in Turkmenistan and it confined majorly to areas related to that and did not undergo major expansion. So a few saints for this were present in the eastern India though, presence of Bangladesh and a little bit of Bengal, but major saints for under this particular silsila were not prevalent. So these are the major Sufi saints and Sufi silsilas that were present. I think they should cover up Bhakti and Sufi movements in general and also the mapping in particular to this. Hope this helps and have a great all the best for your exams. Thank you.